Pierre Poilievre, welcome. Well, I bring remarks today to you with a great deal of nostalgia for a number of reasons. First of all, Bill Ayed, who introduced me, was one of the people on whose doors I knocked when I first ran for my nomination back in 2003. And at the time I was 24 years old, but I actually looked like I was 16 years old. And his daughter answered the door, and she said, "Dad, there's someone here for you." And he said, "Who is it?" And she said, "I don't know, some kid." and he said, "Tell him we don't have any bottles to donate to the Boy Scouts." It's actually a true story. So anyway, we won his support, and he's been around ever since, multiple times serving as riding president. They brought in term limits, so he has to sit out 1 year every 2 or 3 years, but he keeps coming back for more punishment. So thank you very much, Bill. We appreciate all your hard work. Bill has great stories, though. You know, the former member of Parliament here was Walter Baker. Does anybody remember Walter Baker? Well, he was a big man with big hands, and when Bill was a teenage boy, this too is a true story, Bill and his friends stole their parents' car and drove to the United States. And then on the way back, the border guards realized it didn't belong to them and then took possession of it. So they actually had to take the bus back. And the parents were on vacation, and so they thought, well, who are we going to call to try and get the car back before the parents return, and found out that it was stolen. And anyway, so Bill said, we'll call Walter Baker, he'll be able to help. So these 16-year-old boys gathered around in the MP's office, and he, with his big hands, slammed them on the table. And he said, "You kids tell me the truth. What happened here?" And so they told him the truth, and he said, "You're going to have to write that down on paper, and I'm going to give it to your parents. And when your parents see it, and you tell them what you did, I'm going to get your car back." And so they got it. They gave the letter to the parents. They took their punishment, and they got the car back. And ever since, Bill has been a good law-abiding citizen. It's great to be here with Marjorie Le Breton. Great voice for our community for so many years. We owe you a great debt of gratitude. Former mayor of Rideau Township and my predecessor as Conservative Member of Parliament for the riding of Nepean-Carleton, Dr. Bill Tupper. Dr. Tupper and his wife Georgie continue to serve the community, particularly to capture and remember our great history out in the village of Manotick and around the old township. We had Lisa MacLeod here earlier on, hardworking MPP. Is Lisa still here? Okay, she was here earlier on. And of course, we have Walter Pamick, who's our candidate over in Canada. Walter. Now, the second reason that I'm nostalgic today is because I'm losing half of my riding. This continues to be my constituency for another 65 days or so, but my constituency has been carved in half. It's been a great honor to serve here in Barrhaven across South Nepean, and the place has grown too fast, and there are too many people for one constituency. As a result, the riding has been carved up, and I'm very pleased that Andy Wang, hardworking, is a great voice for this community, will serve as a candidate and hopefully the MP. So this redistribution cost me one of my assistants, and because of the way we carve up our campaign budgets, I've lost also 60% of the money I ever raised. It's all gone to Andy's campaign. So the least he could do is give me some dinner here tonight. But I can assure you, Andy worked in my office. He worked as a Kung Fu instructor. He is a musician. and very well respected right across South Nepean, not only for his political work, but because of his community involvement, and I know that he will take those values right to Parliament Hill as a proven leader for a strong economy and a safe country. Andy, we look forward to having you join us in Parliament. And the final reason that I'm nostalgic is because the person I have to introduce, Jason Kenney, was once my boss. I served as his intern in 1999, if you can believe it. And so he actually learned everything about politics that he knows. He learned it from me during that time. So you have me to blame. You know, we were out door knocking in southeast Calgary when he first ran, and we decided we'd squeeze in one more door at 9:30 p.m. because he wanted to win so badly and with the biggest margin in the country. So we knocked on the door, and the lights were out. Right after we knocked, we hear babies crying. And not one, but two. So this lady came down and she said, "What do you guys think you're doing knocking on this door? At this hour, you've just awoken our baby twins." And my husband, she says, is actually the world heavyweight lifting champion. And he's furious. And so she said, "He's going to be down any minute. You guys wait right here." And so thankfully I said, "Well, listen, you don't even bother him to come down. Just tell him that the local Liberal campaign dropped by to say hello." Anyway, listen, these are many of the adventures we've shared together. He went on to be Canada's Minister for Multiculturalism, where he attended literally thousands of events. And as a result of his extremely hard work, we actually scored a larger percentage of votes among new Canadians than we did among Canadians who were born in this country. And he did that through hard work, for reaching out, building relationships and trust, and by reflecting the values of Canada's immigrants, which of course are hard work, family, community, and freedom. And yes, you can applaud him for that. He went on from, they called him during that time, I see he's having a little bit of tea, they used to call him the Minister for Curry in the Hurry. And he went on from that role to serve as Immigration Minister, where he put an end to the abuses that the Liberals had allowed to go on for far too long. He ensured that immigrants applying to come to this country could get an answer faster, that we could have quicker access to hardworking, skilled immigrants that our economy needs, and that we could remove people from the country who had broken the rules or entered fraudulently. He did all of that while upholding our values as Conservatives. And then he went on to employment and social development, where he worked hard to put end to the abuses that were going on in our temporary foreign worker program, to ensure that never would a Canadian be put aside because an employer wanted to hire a temporary foreign worker instead. And he changed the system so that we have someone who is needed from outside of this country, who is needed in our economy, that we can expedite their becoming a Canadian citizen, so that they would have the full benefits and all of the advantages that are associated with citizenship while contributing to our economy at the very same time. And when he left that office, he actually vacated it for me. And I've now taken over his old ministry there, and he went on to national defense, where he is leading our agenda to keep Canadians safe. And the latest count, our airmen have struck ISIL targets 100 times in Iraq and Syria. Striking out at the terrorists over there so that they cannot harm us over here. So ladies and gentlemen, give a warm Nepean welcome to the Minister of National Defense, Jason Kenney.
Thank you very much.